He went from a security guard with a meager salary to a Hollywood star with the highest fees in the industry. He started with episodic roles and barely made ends meet, but at some point, he caught a lucky break. Bruce Willis is considered one of the greatest actors of our time, but his path to fame and fortune was thorny. How much is his capital now? Which role brought him the highest fee? And why has he been acting in frankly bad films lately? This is Biographer Express, and today we're going to tell you about how everyone's beloved John McClane lives. Sit back comfortably, and we are starting. Bruce Willis was born in a very ordinary working-class family. As the actor likes to say, he comes from a long line of blue-collar workers. His father was at different times a welder, a mechanic, and a factory worker. Mom worked part-time at the bank. After graduating from high school, Willis could not decide on his future career for a long time, where he just did not work. He was a security guard at the Salem nuclear power plant and a bus driver at a chemical company, and even tried himself as a private investigator. But none of those jobs could satisfy him morally. Therefore, Bruce, who regularly played in school plays in his youth, decided to become a professional actor. The path to fame and exorbitant fees was not as easy as he would like. After moving to New York, he began to audition for major studios. For a long time, the guy was not accepted anywhere, and in order to somehow feed himself, he had to work as a bartender and a waiter. Gradually, he began to get small, episodic roles that brought practically no income. 1985 was the breakthrough for Willis. It was then that he got the role in the series Moonlighting, which made him famous all over America. At that time, the actor was already 30 years old.
I am going to see Omar Gauss.
Why? We're off the case.
This is my case. I got us this case, and we are not off of it until I say we are off of it.
Down, girl, down.
The series brought him his first high fees. Bruce was paid $50,000 for each episode. A good salary allowed him to move to a more expensive apartment as well as buy a car. One of his most famous cars of that time was the 1988 Lincoln Town Car limousine. They say that the actor drove it to the filming of the last seasons of Moonlighting and Die Hard. His growing popularity earned Bruce an advertising contract with Seagram's. The actor advertised their alcoholic beverages for 2 years and received $7 million for the work. It was a cosmic amount for a beginner. But world fame was still just ahead. In 1987, Willis got the role of his life, and you, of course, have already guessed which one.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Director John McTiernan, when choosing the perfect John McClane, doubted to the last, but seeing in Bruce the same hero in a cool t-shirt. The producers were even more doubtful, because Willis demanded an unheard-of fee for the actor of his then status, $5 million. But since all the famous action movies actors refused the role, the creators of the project nevertheless agreed. Such a deal was regarded by industry professionals as a bad investment and caused serious controversy about the film even before its release. However, Die Hard exceeded all expectations, grossing about $140 million at the box office with $35 million spent on it. The success of the film led to 4 more sequels, and with each subsequent part, Willis's fees increased. For the entire franchise, he earned about $60 million. That's how Bruce Willis turned from an unsuccessful actor and bartender into one of the highest-paid Hollywood stars in a relatively short time. Since the late 1980s, he began receiving an 8-figure salary. For example, for the voice acting of the character in Look Who's Talking, Willis earned $10 million, and in the action movie The Last Boy Scout with Halle Berry, his fee rose to $14 million. But there were also movies in which Willis agreed to act almost for nothing, simply because he liked the script. For example, for his role in Quentin Tarantino's cult black comedy Pulp Fiction, he received only $800,000. In another Tarantino project, 4 Rooms, Willis played for free and even agreed to remove his name from the credits because according to the rules of the Screen Actors Guild, artists do not have the right to play for nothing. Sometimes I can do something just because it's fun and interesting. By the way, what are your favorite roles of Bruce? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Another similar project was the dystopian film 12 Monkeys. Willis agreed to play for a fee significantly lower than his usual, and even then he received his money only after the film was released. That was, he played for free. But working with the great Terry Gilliam was worth it. Moreover, projects with high fees were waiting ahead. In 1999, the film The Sixth Sense was released, whose success at the box office exceeded all expectations. The movie gave Willis 2 MTV Movie Award nominations as well as a dizzying $100 million fee. Initially, his fee was $18 million, but as a bonus, the actor was promised a percentage of the proceeds at the box office, and the success of the film resulted in a tidy sum for the actor. According to some reports, that was the second highest salary ever received by an actor for a film. In principle, it was possible to stop there and go somewhere to the islands and enjoy life. But Bruce continued to work hard. In 2000, he earned a total of about $55 million. It was mainly based on 2 films, The Kid and Unbreakable, with $20 million each. The following year brought him $70 million, and in 2002, his earnings amounted to $46 million. Such a lot of money provided Bruce the opportunity to have fun to the fullest. Willis liked to play at the casinos sometimes. Once, he won $500,000 in a card game. But another time, he lost $117,000 at roulette. In 2003, Bruce decided to celebrate the 30th anniversary of graduation and organized a party for 300 graduates of 1973. For that event, he rented the Trump Plaza Hotel in Atlantic City. He paid for all the food, drinks, and entertainment out of his own pocket. The celebration cost the actor $30,000. In addition to his acting career, Bruce is engaged in investments. He owns the Liberty Theater in Hailey, Idaho, Shorty's Diner Cafe, and the Mint nightclub, which also bring him income. In the late 90s, the actor became a co-owner of the Planet Hollywood network. The list of shareholders also included the names of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Demi Moore, and several other superstars. He also became a co-owner of the European alcoholic beverage company Belvedere Group, acquiring 3.3% of its shares. Bruce does not disdain to participate in advertising. He advertised Subaru Legacy automobiles, Visa credit cards, and more. The actor also had a long-term collaboration with the Polish vodka brand Sobieski Vodka. In the movie Red, Willis's character disinfected the wound with that particular drink. For 4 years, he was paid $16 million. Willis's appetites grew rapidly every year. He had consistently remained one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood. But everything has its limits. It is a well-known fact that for participation in the third part of The Expendables, Willis requested $4 million for 4 days of shooting. Despite the huge success of previous films, the producers found that too much even for an actor like Willis and refused him. Sylvester Stallone publicly called his colleague lazy and greedy. In the second half of the 2010s, the quality of Willis's films began to get worse. He was shooting even more actively than before. While none of his projects even claimed the B-movie, some of them didn't even come to the big screens, but were released on videotape. After watching such films, viewers often wondered why they were being filmed at all. And the answer is obvious. It's, of course, for earning money. In fact, producing cheap action movies is one way to do business in Hollywood. EFO Film Studio, founded by producer Randall Emmett, has noticeably succeeded in this field. Emmett has been involved in almost all the movies in which Willis has starred since 2014. Willis practically became the face of his film studio. The secret for his long collaboration with Emmett is quite simple. Willis needed to spend only a few days on the set, for which he received a couple of $1 million.
I'm a popular guy.
The viewer did not know in advance what role Willis would play in such films, so the advertising campaign of a cheap action movie was built around his character. As a result, he appeared on the screen for at most 10 minutes, saying monosyllabic phrases in the spirit of, "I have a bad feeling about this." In some cases, the understudies not only performed tricks instead of Bruce, but even pronounced the text for the actor. Certainly, Willis's fans were outraged. It got to the point that in 2022, the organizers of the Golden Raspberry Award created a separate nomination, the worst performance of Bruce Willis in a 2021 movie, in which 8 pictures with Willis participated. But very soon, everyone finally understood why Willis, being already not a poor man, was flushing his talent down the toilet by participating in shameful pictures. In the spring of 2022, Bruce Willis shocked everyone by announcing his retirement from cinema. It turned out that the actor suffers from dementia, one of the symptoms of which is aphasia, a neurological disease that causes a person to have speech and its perception impaired. Rumors that Willis no longer had good health had been going around for a long time. Officially, no one has ever confirmed the existence of such problems, but in January of 2021, the media, citing anonymous sources, reported that the actor was fighting against impending dementia. According to people close to the actor, for the first time, Willis's memory problems appeared during his participation in the Broadway production of Misery in 2015. Then he had an earpiece through which the lines of his character were dictated to the actor. Now the rumors have been confirmed. The disease really does not allow Bruce to learn even a couple of pages of script, and in his last films, the screenwriters had to rewrite the actor's lines to reduce them to a minimum.
Oh, let's hide. Let's hide.
Julia.
My name is Teresa.
No, sì lo so, ti chiami Teresa. Bambina.
Finally, everything fell into place. Collaborating with various strange projects, Willis was just trying to earn as much money as possible for his family while he was still able to work. And the quality of the pictures in which he was invited was of secondary importance for the actor. He knew that there would come a time when his health would deteriorate and one day he would not need as many mansions and apartments. That someday he would want to live in safety with his family instead of moving from place to place. Since 2018, the actor has been getting rid of large estates. In total, he's sold about $65 million worth of real estate. Among the houses that had to say goodbye, for example, a majestic duplex with 6 bedrooms and an area of 0.14 acres in Central Park West, which was sold for $17.75 million. In addition, Willis sold his mountain home in Sun Valley, Idaho for $5.5 million. He originally asked for $15 million, which was almost 3 times the sale price and is still a record for the area. In December of 2019, Willis and his second wife, Emma Hemming, sold their estate in Westchester, New York for $7.66 million, after lowering the asking price by $5.3 million. Then a new mansion in Brentwood, California was sold for $9.8 million. In the same year, the couple sold a luxury villa in the Turks and Caicos Islands. The 5-bedroom mansion with a casino located on the Atlantic Ocean brought the family another $27 million. Now, the actor spends most of his time with his family in his new mansion located in Los Angeles near Sunset Boulevard. For the purchase of a 3-story house with 7 bedrooms and 12 bathrooms, the couple paid almost $10 million. The total area of the mansion, built in a modern style, is 0.3 acres. As the actor wanted, the mansion is securely hidden from the eyes of outsiders thanks to a high fence and dense greenery. The territory is guarded around the clock, so the couple cannot be afraid that they and their children will be pestered by journalists. The mansion has a spa, sauna, 2 swimming pools, a gym, as well as a living room with a fireplace and a home theater. Willis collects expensive cars like many other Hollywood stars. For a long time, he was the proud owner of a beautiful, classic '68 Shelby GT 500. But during the global financial crisis of 2008, the actor decided to put him and 3 other muscle cars from his collection up for auction at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Although Bruce Willis became famous for his love of muscle cars, the most expensive car in his collection was the Bentley Continental GT Speed Le Mans Edition. That luxury British car was released in a limited edition, and perhaps that's what the actor liked. Although who would not like the luxurious interior, lined with leather with red stitching and a carbon fiber dashboard? For a while, Willis could also be seen driving a Range Rover and Cadillac Escalade. One of Bruce's most valuable cars was also a Ford Mustang driven by Steve McQueen, Willis's idol. The celebrity's car was sold at auction for the sum of $150,000. Now, Willis's capital is about $255 million. A guy from a simple family has achieved such heights that once he could never have dreamed of. Of course, the disease has severely sapped his spirits, but Bruce still has something to be proud of and something to be happy about. And despite a series of low-grade films of recent years, his fans still love him for his iconic roles, pretentious look, and charming smile that can break ice. No disease can take that away from him. We've already told in Biographer Express about another actor who at first also hid his illness and continued to work until the last. If you click on this icon, you will find out everything about how Michael J. Fox, known for the role of Marty McFly, lives with Parkinson's disease. What is the secret of his optimism? What moment in his life did he call the darkest? Follow the link and watch. And that's all for today. Like this video and see you very soon.